So, hello everyone. Today, let's start the newspaper of 5th May and telling about some facts. 5th May is also known as Cinco de Mayo and National Astronauts Day and No Pants Day. All right. Cinco de Mayo is related to the sandwich which was used to make. There is some creams, mayonnaise is used. All right. Now, Jaishankar. Jaishankar talks LAC standoff with China Quinn, multilateral ties with Russian Lavrov. All right. Now, SEO Foreign Minister meets to discuss agenda for the summit in Delhi in July. Now, Jaishankar said that the focus of meeting was on resolving the outstanding issue and issuing peace and tranquility in the border area. Significantly, given military standoff between India and China along the LOAC, it is or LAC. It began exactly 3 years ago. Jaishankar also met Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and there was a comprehensive review of bilateral globe and multilateral cooperation. And he also met financial Foreign Minister of China, Qin Gang, and focus on resolving. Uh, Wait a second. Yeah, focus on resolving outstanding issues and ensuring peace and tranquility in the border areas. Also discuss SEO, G20, and BRICS. All right, these are organizations are important. Now, Jaishankar had described the current state of bilateral relation as abnormal as they have discussed the border standoff. Bulk of our conversation was on the current state of our relationship, which is abnormal as per the Indian standards, while the Chinese say it's very stable. Meeting Lavrov, Jaishankar said comprehensive review of our bilateral, global, and multilateral cooperation with Financial Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, appreciated Russian support for India's SCO presidencies, also discussed for the pertaining of G20s and BRICS. Sorry. And Russian foreign minister said a trust-based exchange of views. A trust-based exchange of views on the main issue of bilateral relation, including the schedule of upcoming contacts, and as well as topical issue on the globe and regional agenda took place. The intention to further strengthen the cooperation coordination to develop common approach with a framework of interaction at the most important international platforms, including the SCO, BRICS, UN, and G20, was confirmed. Lavrov's statements were clearly aimed at US-led Western bloc, which Moscow feels is trying to build a Western dominance world order. All right, let's move forward. Now, DRDO senior scientist in Pune was held for link with Pak operatives. As I've already told in the previous newspaper, uh, uh, now this Meta told, and the anti-terrorism squad got the information from the intelligence agencies about the this gentleman, no more gentleman, this scientist, senior scientist, which is working, and scientist has been working on specific DRDO project in the past, including the nuclear capable Agni missile series. He was working in the nuclear capable Agni missile series and Mission Shakti, in addition to several other missile projects. All right. Now, coolest May morning in 41 years. Capital wake up to fog. That means May is going to be cooler. Now, the low minimum temperature, along with the moisture on account of rainfall the previous day, low wind speed contributes to fog formation. Now, how fogs are formed? Because of the low minimum temperature is already there, and the moisture on the account of rainfall which was done on the previous day, along with low wind speed, it all made the fog. Now, the visibility at Palam is around 800 meters, while visibility at Safdarjung is around 200 meters. Fog forms when water vapor condenses. That means water vapor has been there. They make two cloud. This is condensation, and the moisture and low temperature. That means low temperature is already there. The vapors have been condensed. Moisture is already present in the environment. Low speeds of wind is there. Already they all form the fog. And since cooler air holds less moisture, means the cooler air will hold less moistures, and then the warmer air, the water vapor condenses with the fall in temperature, forming fog. That means, and the water vapor condenses with a fall in temperature. If there is a fall in temperature, the water vapor will condense and it will make a fog. All right. May is usually Delhi's hottest month, but it is now cool. And under the influence of Western disturbance, which have Western disturbance which happened during the central Pakistan, and associated rainfall and cloudy skies in this week, both maximum and minimum temperature have remained below the normal. And with the another western disturbance affecting northwest India, Delhi could have drizzled over the weekend. And Delhi is, however, likely to get warmer next week and May 8th to 10th with clear skies and rise to maximum temperature. The maximum temperature is likely to climb up to 37 degrees Celsius on May 10th. All right, let's move forward. We have already studied this. No need to study this. When it comes to city, nothing. Okay. The first in over 6 year Pak foreign minister in Goa for SU meet. Alright, in SU meet he has came Zardari Bhutto Bilawal, and this guy is foreign minister of Pakistan. He is also son of uh, the Prime Minister Bhutto, who was assassinated. And there was no bilateral meeting scheduled in external affairs meeting, as Jankar means they are not meeting anyone. And Dardari, who's received at Goa airport by the Joint Secretary in Ministry of External Affairs (MEA), who looked after the Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran. JP Singh. That means he looks over the Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran region. He had welcomed the Bhutto. All right. Now, studies have shown the insulin deficit trigger for type 2 diabetes in Indians. That means there is some deficiency of insulin which creates the type 2 diabetes in Indians. The pancreas failure to secrete adequate insulin appears to have been longer the trigger for the type 2 diabetes. So, pancreas failure is also a reason. And now, especially under the age of 45, in an Indo-Sweden study, it has been found, contrast to Western type people, where type 2 diabetes is mostly caused by the insulin resistance. All right, type 2 diabetes in foreign is caused by the insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes is also usually linked to obesity. All right, and insulin resistance occurs when the body is unable to use the insulin the proper way. Type 2 diabetes worsen the capacity of the pancreas to produce insulin and keeps dropping, resulting in deficiency. Means the type 2 diabetes makes the worsen the capacity of pancreas in the production of insulin, and the production of insulin there's a dropping in it, and it causes the deficiency. And the drugs which will help the pancreas create more insulin. So if you so some people are using taking the diabetic capsules and tablets. What it causes, it creates more insulin, and normal person secretes enough insulin to achieve the desired effect on the tissue. All right, but when the tissue cannot respond to usual amount of insulin, the pancreas have to secrete more. That means if issues are not cannot respond to the usual amount of insulin, the pancreas has to secrete more. And when this happens longer period of time, the pancreas get fatigued and diabetic develops. And the issue are responding reasons able well, but the pancreas is not able to secrete insulin either in cause of genetic defection or poor development in womb, or factors in the environment which may affect and damage the pancreatic beta cell. And affection of pancreas help improve the treatment of type 2 diabetes in India, whereas the estimation that 74.2 million people had the disease in 2021. And the Indian and studies coherent in the studies they found the association of genetic risk score for liver fat in 3 out of 4 subgroups in Indian colon, but none in Sweden. In Sweden, there are no liver fat, and on the contrary, vitamin B12 deficiency related to genes were associated in MOD subgroup only in Indian, not in Sweden. That means deficiency of B12 along with the liver fat and the type 2 diabetes were more found in Indian people than in Sweden. And Indians have a much lower BMI compared to the Sweden. In suggestion that for a more genetic potential, India reaches to lower BMI, probably because of undernutrition and because of the existence of several generations. And in India, there has been related to lower BMI comparison because of the undernutrition for longer generations. All right, let's move forward. bridging the Gulf. India UAE SIPA gained strategic depth. All right, unleash the entrepreneurial spirit. The old journey of cultural and economic engagement to Indian Ocean network of exchange, the India UAE relationship is today more than an economic partnership. It seems that emerald deeps fraternity and strategic importance relationship in India and reform the UAE position as an economic hub for India to undertake sustainable and divisible growth through our strategic location at the intersection of globe trade. Forged first on the trade of traditional terms and then strengthened with oil. It found a formal dimension after the creation of UAE Federation 1971 and then accelerated in 1990. And when the liberalized India embarked the opportunity to export the UAE and market beyond, the emergence of UAE as India's third largest trading partner has only underlined the positive outlook the two countries share towards the economic cooperation. Now, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, the CEPA, it is the full form of it. And in May 1st, 2022, the UAE India SEPA has been incredibly successful not only for the volume of non oil trade, which almost hit a 50 billion mark in 2022, with the growth of around 10%, but also multiplier effect that it was built in our respective economics. That means there was building of both of the economies, plus there was a trade surplus of around 10%. All right, in 1 year itself. Now the UAE India SEPA is unleashing the spirit of entrepreneurship that exists in both countries, inspiring innovators and investors and catalyzing SMEs startups. The agreement is beneficial for the partnership experience in unlocking the growth, mobility, capital and talent, and policy energy. The UAE India SEPA is also a strategic catalyst in the addressing vital development challenges, energy and food security, agriculture and sustainability. India and UAE in regional bloc and multilateral, such as I2U2. I will talk about I2U2 in and the UFIs. All right, and the UAE looks forward to the opening of IIT Delhi campus in Abu Dhabi next year. Positive outcomes are expected from MOU and academic cooperation signed between the Anwar Gargash Diplomatic Academy and O. Pinjandal Global University. The UAE and India signed an MOU to establish the Emirati India and Cultural Council. This depending of India UAE exchange of art, culture, and education indicates that our mutual reservoir of trust and shared values is an even present source and enrichment. The UAE India SEPA and our strong people to multi cultural fabric and have the highly favored the business environment. The Indian dynamic startup ecology in unicorn innovation to explore growth and diversification into the Emirati market and from there to Middle East, Africa, Europe. And UAE Startup Bridge will enable them to attract investment from the ventures capitalist and uh, angle investors. All right, let's move forward. If we go to the world, now, deliveries of F-16 delayed, working on minimizing damage, says Taiwan. Now, USA have been giving Taiwan new F-16V. Now, for the it will be making Taiwan very very strong when it comes to defense. There will be total 600 new F-16Vs. All right, and it will make the largest in Asia to strengthen its defense in the face of step up threat of China, which claims Taiwan on its own. Now, the previous F-16A and B will be converted into F-16V, and additional 66 new F-15 F-16V are also including, and there has been facing down with Chinese Air Force, and it includes 60 12 stealth fighter aircrafts. All right, and it has been delayed recently, but it will come up later on. And India and Russia. Suspend talk to trade in rupees means earlier it was said that India and Russia will be trading in rupees, but recently there was a change in talk, and India and Russia have suspended efforts in settling the bilateral trade in rupee after months of negotiation failed to convince Moscow to keep rupee in its coffer. Now, Russia is not interested in dealing in rupees, and this would be a major setback for Indian importers for cheap oil and coals from Russia, who were awaiting a permanent rupee payment mechanism to help lower currency convention cost. That means it's a blowback for the major Indians because Russia is not ready, and Indians start exploring a rupee settlement mechanism with Russia soon to invasion of Ukraine in February last year. But there has been no reported done in rupees. Most trade is in dollar, but an increased amount is being carried out and other currencies like UAE dirham. That means they have also done payment in UAE, United Arab Emirates dirham, and Russia is not comfortable holding rupees and wants to pay it in Chinese yuan or other currencies. Means Russia is not comfortable in rupees, but it wants to get the payment either in Chinese yuan or other currencies. And we don't want to push rupee settlement anymore. And that mechanism not just working. India is tried everything, and we were not able to make it through. And the Indian imports from Russia have risen to 51.3 billion until April from 10.6 billion. Means five times it has been increased, and in the same year. All right, five times has been increased. Now let's move forward. Yeah, behind Manipur flare up tribal anger. I will talk about it, and then SEO opportunities. Is there something else? Let's go forward. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, let's do one thing. I'll make a different video on the tribal affairs, or let's do this. Let me find the what is the timing? 17 minutes only. So let's do this. It can be done. So before that, let's talk about the SEO opportunity for India. All right. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov on Thursday. The Council of Foreign Ministers of Shanghai Cooperation Group SCO will meet on Friday in Goa. And SCO is a multilateral group comprising of 8 members, as we already know: China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Pakistan, Tajikistan. All right, and Uzbekistan. And there are four observer states and six dialogue partners. That means four observer states are there and six dialogue partners are there. And this year, the four observers are Iran and Belarus, and set to admit it at full membership. And Afghanistan and Mongolia are two other observers. All right, and the dialogue partners are Armenia, Azerbaijan, Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Turkey. All right. Now this SEO summit has been done, and it is a dialogue partnership, and there are presently two observers, and these are Afghanistan and Mongolia. These are the other two observers. Along with that, there are Belarus and Iran. Iran, Belarus, Afghanistan, and Mongolia. These four are the observers. That may I repeat again? Iran, Belarus, Afghanistan, and Mongolia. And there are four dialogue partners, six dialogue partners: Armenia, Azerbaijan, Cambodia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Turkey. Okay, and India, which has admitted as a full membership in 2017, along with Pakistan in the first ever expansion of the group, holds the rotating presidencies in SCO this year, and the capacity has hosted several ministerial uh, level SCO meeting, including tourism minister meeting in Varanasi. Now, Central Asia and heart of SCO. The Eurasia, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD), Eurasia, which is the Organization for the Economic Cooperation and Development. OECD defined include 13 countries: Afghanistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Moldova, and Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, and Uzbekistan. All right, is an center in the flux in the world order, excluding Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova, and Turkmenistan. All others and either members observes are dialogue partners of the SCO. Now, uh, while the West views the SCO as a cost grab run by China and ally Russia, those familiar with the those familiars with the workers of group describe the forum as a venue where the two dominant countries powers are in competition with each other and influence. And four of the five Central Asia republics are members of SCO. Russia had reviewed these resource-rich republics and that were the part of the Erstwhile Sovereign Union as its strategic backyard. But it has not been able to stop a growing Chinese footprint over the region, and which has been driven both by strategic economies and security reasons. The competition has been all the more apparent as Beijing outreach to the Central Asia 5 and C5 caught memorandum with the Belt and Road Initiative. That means uh, the competition have been more apparent as the Beijing outrage of Central Asia 5 or the C5. All right, caught memorandum with the Belt and Road Initiative and accelerate over the last year. Last year, during the Russia provocation with the war in Ukraine, last this Monday, Beijing is preparing all host in person C plus C5 summit, and after last year inaugural summit held virtually. But Russia's continuous economic influence in the region is still strong as it is political, cultural, and people-to-people connections. And the power plays in Central Asia has its impact in SU, and this is where the Russian meets the India. Now, let's talk about India and SU. Moscow sees India presence in SQ as a potential countervailing force to Chinese dominance of Central Asia. And it was Russia that began pushing for Indian membership for the group. Around the time that China's Xi Jinping launches his Belt and Road Initiative in Kazakhstan. All right, when Kazakhstan done its Belt and Road, sorry, when China's done its Belt and Road Initiative in Kazakhstan in 2017, at that time Russia pushed India for the SCO membership to remove the dominance of the uh, China. And same year, all five Central Asia republics in one trip gave India interest in the region as authoritative impetus. A membership of SCO 2 years later gave India highly profile in Central Asia, to which it does not have overall access. And in post US Afghan, it has helped India to stay involved in the regional discussion on Taliban rules, from which it is otherwise excluded. Just last month, the foreign ministers of Pakistan, Iran, China, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, which have formed a group of neighborly country of Afghanistan, met in Uzbek city of Samarkand. And just as much as Russia needed India in the SCO, with relation between India and China rough since Doklam episode in 2017 and worsening steadily after the Chinese inclusion in eastern Ladakh, the group has provided Delhi a forum to play up its proximity to Moscow. And some experts have tended to view the Quad grouping of Australia, India, Japan, and US as countering to influence Russia and China seek to project through SU. India's membership of both are an irrevocable contraction. But if Quad is India's diplomacy in the Indo-Pacific, the SCO represents its diplomacy in the Euro-Asian landmass, and it can also be seen as an exercise or true multipolarize. If SCO is bipolar Chinese Russian platform, it offers the several diplomats within and other members leverage and their strengths to get best deal of themselves. At last year, the foreign minister meets in Turkey, and India was only the country that has not given a signs of joint statement calling it strengthening of the biological weapon convention. And the country of Iran, Belarus can also increase the cross current within. The SCO veterans described the forum as diplomatic battlefield and the challenges for the Indians is to use the both SU and code to further its own interest instead of getting trapped in the either cooperation. All right. Now let's talk about the behind Manipur flare up, tribal anger, High Court order. All right, it is very important, and we will get to know about the complete situation of the Manipur. All right, and march was to oppose the long-standing demand of Metis community be included in the list of state scheduled tribe. All right, the BT community is an Hindu dominating community which lives in Imphal or the Valley region. All right, and they want the ST scheduled tribe status, and which will receive a boost from an order of Manipur High Court last month. And demand has brought the historical tension between the valley dwelling Meta community and state hill tribe to a boil. Now there has been some problem has been going on with the Metis community and the hill tribe community. Hill tribes are usually the Nagas and Kuki. All right, Kuki and Nagas, and the Metis are the largest community in Manipur. All right, and there are 34 recognized tribes which are broadly classified as any Kuki tribe and any Naga tribe. All right, Miti is the largest community in Manipur, but it is a community, and there are 34 recognized tribes which are broadly classified as any Kuki tribes and Naga tribes. Means basically there are two tribes, the Kuki tribe and Naga tribe, and Metis. The Metis are largest community in Manipur. They are not tribes. All right. Scheduled tribe demands community of Manipur. What the MITI wants an ST status, that is the scheduled tribe status for the to take care of the region. They also want to have the good opportunities in government services, and this is why they require the ST status. All right. Now demand for ST status arose when the need to preserve the community. They wanted to preserve the community and to save the ancestral land, tradition, culture, and language of the Metis. The Metis or Miti have been gradually margin in the ancestral land, and their population, which was 59% of total population of Manipur in 1951, they were 59% of total population in Manipur in 1951, has now been reduced to 44% as per 21 census data. That means from 59 to 44. That means a total 7% droppage in the total population, and the tribal groups oppose this order. All right, the demand of ST status for Metis community has long been opposed by the state's tribal groups. All right, the state's tribal groups, and one of the reasons cited is the dominance of Metis both in population and in political representation, since 40 out of 60 political assemblies constituencies of state are in the valleys. That means Metis are dominantly living in the valley, and the hill region is for the Kuki as well as the Naga tribes. All right, and they and still being community, they are given OBC and SC status by the government, but they want ST to preserve their land and the ancestral land, transition, culture, and language. All right, and but it is the demand of ST of Metis community has long been opposed by the state tribal groups. That means the state tribal groups doesn't want that the Metis becomes a tribe, on the reason stated in dominance of Metis both in population and in political representation. All right, and feared the loss of job opportunities and other and affirmative actions granted by the STs by the Constitution to provide the advantage community. All right, now the Constitution has provided the new STs, the granted STs more job opportunities, and which our community Metis community is not able to do it and get it. And Manipur language of the Metis is included in the 8th schedule of the constitution. That is, Manipuri language has of the Metis have been included in the 8th schedule of the constitution, and that section of Metis community which is predominantly Hindu are already classified under the scheduled caste or the other backward classes. So they have been given status of SC along with the OBC, and the claims that Metis need ST status to protect their culture and identity in the self-defending. The Metis are a dominant group controlling the state and its apparatus. The state has been protecting their culture politically and economically. Right now, people are telling that Metis communities are already in dominance because of its larger number, and still they want ST status. Though other ST tribes like Kuki and Naga tribes have been opposing it, and the policies of scheduled tribe status in Manipur. All right, and the why Chandrachud, in this demand of only reason for the conflict rocking in the state currency, the Churachand witnessed violence after mob attacked an open gym. All right, there was an open gym which was attacked by the mob in Churachand district, and that was inaugurated by the chief minister. And a major reason for the discontent was the state notice on the August 22 claiming that 38 villages in the Churachan Kopum protected forest areas are illegal settlements. That means they have told that the the people who have been living in the Churachan, the state protected allegation, are basically the illegal settlements. All right, and it was a major region because the fluid started. And following this February, the government set out the eviction drive, which resulted in clashes. Now, the Kuki group have claimed that the survey and eviction is violence of Article 37 371C, which covers some administrative autonomy to the tribal dominance hill areas of the Manipur. All right, in Article 31C, there have been some special power given to the tribal dominant hill dominant cities, so they can't be evicted from that area. This is a demand of Kuki groups. That means the community, they want the ST status. The Kuki people don't want to leave the. Their Kuki people do not want to leave the protected area. They think that it is their tribal belonging. Along with that, following the protests against the eviction, CM Biden also said that the protesters were propped by the armed groups such as Zomi Revolutionary Army and Kuki National Army, and proceeded to withdraw the ceasefire agreement with the two and increase the rancor between the Kuki groups and the government. And further, these Kuki groups